You're putting in the hours. You're leaving the weight room drenched in sweat, completely exhausted. But when you look in the mirror, nothing has changed. No new muscle, no fat loss, no visible return on all that grueling physical labor. The reality of human biology is that physical transformation is completely blind to how much you sweat. Your muscles do not care how tired you feel. This chart shows exactly where most beginners get trapped. It's a cycle called the gym failure loop. You start with high motivation, jump into random exercises or lifting too heavy, fail to recover, see zero results, and eventually lose your motivation and quit. This entire loop feeds on a very specific false assumption, the idea that walking out of the gym physically destroyed means you've made progress. Exhaustion is not an indicator of growth. To break out of this cycle, we have to stop viewing workouts as random physical exertion. We need to start treating your gym time as a methodical, high ROI physical investment. Mastering the mechanics of the weight room means you have to trade the psychological comfort of just winging it for the strict, measurable administration of biological triggers. This 2x2 chart evaluates your habits, mapping effort on the x-axis against biological ROI on the y-axis. The first error, random exercises, lands in high effort, low ROI. Skipping a routine guarantees plateaus. Ego lifting falls into high effort with negative ROI. When you use momentum to swing a heavy dumbbell, you are actively shifting the mechanical tension away from the target muscle and transferring that load directly on vulnerable joints and connective tissues. You compound that risk when you skip a warm-up. Forcing cold, stiff tissues to suddenly bear massive loads makes injuries almost inevitable. The immediate fix requires 2 rules. Spend 5 to 10 minutes doing light cardio and dynamic stretching, and prioritize slow, controlled movement over heavy weight. If you lack proper form and structure, you aren't training, you are cheating yourself, and every sloppy rep is actively sabotaging your body instead of building it. So how do you actually build muscle? It comes down to a strict biological requirement. Hypertrophy only occurs when a muscle is forced to adapt to a level of stress it has never experienced before. If you do the exact same weight for the exact same number of reps every single week, your body has no reason to change. The adaptation process halts entirely. This graph illustrates the solution. The flat line is a static stimulus. The rising staircase line represents progressive overload, gradually increasing weight or reps over time. Applying this requires meticulous data tracking. If done right, your workouts will never actually feel easier. This constant demand is why inconsistency is so destructive. Going hard for 1 week, then taking 2 weeks off, resets your biological adaptation curve entirely, keeping you stuck at day 1 over and over again. True physical growth is not a baseline state. It is an expensive biological response that you have to constantly negotiate by incrementally increasing your physical stress. But all that work on the gym floor only handles half the equation. Muscle is not built in the gym, it is torn in the gym, and it is built in your bed and in your kitchen. Bringing back our ROI matrix to map nutritional discipline, a structured diet lands squarely in moderate effort, high ROI. Ignoring your macronutrients mathematically ensures failure. Your body cannot physically rebuild torn tissue without the correct raw materials. Then we look at recovery. Securing 7 to 8 hours of sleep optimizes your nervous system and hormone production. Mapping this into our framework puts sleep firmly in the low daily effort, extremely high ROI quadrant. The lifestyle trade-off here is clear. Optimizing recovery means you have to sacrifice late-night leisure, take actual rest days, and fight the psychological urge to overtrain. You cannot outtrain a biological deficit. Your diet and your sleep habits will always dictate the absolute ceiling of your gym results. To translate these biological concepts into daily action, we use this checklist. We call it the optimizer's baseline. First, for the overeager beginner, check the strict form box by dropping your lifting weights by 20%. Prioritize joint protection, eliminate ego lifting, and control every single rep. Next, for the time-poor casual gym goer, inconsistency is worse than a bad routine. Check the structured overload box by finding a basic 3-day full body plan and sticking to it without missing weeks. Finally, for the frustrated optimizer, if your lifting numbers are going up but your physique isn't changing, aggressively manage your sleep schedule and hit your daily protein intake. Regardless of where you start, avoid the final trap. Everyone has a different genetic starting line and a different physical journey. Comparing your biological progress to the manipulated genetic anomalies you see in fitness marketing will only demotivate you. Building a great physique takes extreme patience. There is no rapid shortcut, and there is no magic supplement that will do the work for you. The gym is not an arena to test your ego. It is a controlled environment designed to safely trigger a biological response. Trust the process, track your data, and optimize your inputs.